Hey guys, welcome to Adventures in Aviators.
Hey, it's Jason and Michelle. Hey, we're going to talk about renting a car today and driving the Balkans.
So, yes, there is public transportation in the Balkans. There's, mostly buses. There's not the trains like you might be used to in Western Europe. But those mostly go between cities, and yeah, you can find some excursions off to different national parks and beautiful areas, but that's not how the Hueys roll. We like to go explore things on our own and for ourselves, and you get to take your time, and that means renting a car. The great news about renting a car in the Balkans is it's dirt cheap.
Okay, this is kind of a big deal when you're in another country to figure out the car rental system. So I read a whole bunch of blogs, read a whole bunch of websites, and we rented through Nova Car Rental. A super good deal. This place is like dirt cheap. We rented a car for 9 days in Hawaii for the same price that we are renting a car for about 7 weeks here in the Balkans. That is ridiculous. A couple things you need to know. When you're traveling from country to country, you have to go, cross these different country borders. For a car rental, they give you the option to pre-purchase this green inter-country car pass that you need to show to verify your vehicle to go through all of the Balkan countries. It is really simple. As a U.S. citizen, you can pretty much bop from country to country with no issue. You don't have to get verified to get into the country. You can just hop around. It's awesome. The other thing about renting a car is in most countries, automatic cars are less popular and they're mostly stick shift. We do not have the skill set to have a stick shift.
Whoa. Just call it what it is. I don't have the skill set quite yet at this tender young age of operating a manual, so we had to get an automatic. It's a little more expensive. There
it is. Even though we paid for the automatic, the manual would have been even cheaper. I would have been like $100 or so cheaper, which is insane. When it comes to the insurance part, they will always try to upsell you on the insurance. It's a little complicated to try to figure out what you need, but here's one thing that I can tell you. The expensive insurance covers all of this collision damage and la-di-da-di-da. But it doesn't cover the windshield or the tires, which is the more likely option of what's going to happen, especially when we show you the roads that we're driving on. It's going to be the tires or the windshield that's going to take the beating, so that insurance isn't even going to cover it, so we opted not to do that.
All right, so Michelle and I are rolling a little bit old school. Emphasis on the old. But we do not have smartphones with us on this trip, and in spite of that, we got our old school maps out. We've got Google Maps, so we've been checking things out along. When we have a travel day coming up and zooming in on all the things, we have gotten lost so much. Had to turn around so many times. Met some great locals who have helped us get back on the right path. It's incredibly difficult to navigate through cities specifically in this region in general. You've got a couple different things that you're dealing with. One, it's not your language, so there's a language barrier. Now, a lot of signs are in English, which is really helpful, but just because you see it in English once doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see it in English again. There are several roads, I'm on the main highway and I'm just going through this town. Shouldn't be a problem until you hit a true fork in the road and you can't even tell which way maintains the same highway. No signs. So having a GPS is a great idea. Normally that's not a big upcharge on a car that you rent, except for us it was like $5 a day. Well, when you're going out for like 7 weeks, that's super expensive. So we didn't do the GPS. Highly recommend it for this region. Lots of back roads and fun areas, which is where all the pretty stuff is, but you're going to get lost. And like we said, it's a fun adventure.
It's an adventure!
That's right, and we've gotten some pretty great looks from people like, just use your phone. We don't have the phone. Huh? So it goes. But so definitely a great place for GPS is here in the Balkans.
When you're driving on the highways, you're going to drive through small towns. These highways are considered highways even though they might be just 2 lanes, and you will run into speed traps. Almost every town that you drive through has a speed trap. So make sure you know how to read the country signs. Jason, how do you feel about that?
Most of the time, residents in the Balkans will help you out and they'll flash their lights at you, let you know that a speed trap is coming up. Not all the time though. Serbia. But yes, definitely watch out for speed traps. You're going to fluctuate. It's going to be some really engaged driving. It's not relaxing driving, but it is very pretty. So on these cramped roads, you're going to have a lot of impatient drivers, just like anywhere else in the world. And so just know that it's kind of pass or be passed. There's not a lot of you're in your lane and I'm in mine. People are either passing you or you're passing someone else because the roads are so small. Those lines on the roads are kind of more like a recommendation, and everyone utilizes the shoulders, and it's a team effort for everyone to use these roads together. So just be ready for that. It's very engaged driving. Be watching ahead of you. We almost got in a head-on collision because someone timed poorly a chance to pass coming towards us, and it was almost real bad. So just be very cautious, take your time, but be ready for very engaged driving. And sometimes you're just going to find the super impatient guy. Example, we're sitting in Sofia, traffic, 2-lane road, and this is a traffic jam. We've gone maybe 100 yards in 10 minutes, so no one's going anywhere fast. Michelle and I stop for half a second. We're glancing at the map. I haven't crept up on the bumper of the guy ahead of me, and before I know it, I mean, this is like seconds, the guy behind us honks his horn. I'm like, is he honking at me? I turn around, and before I know it, he has whipped around me in this traffic jam to get one space ahead of me. That's just kind of a microcosm of driving around here, is if you're not going, people are going to be passing you, so just be ready for that.
So as you're driving, you're going to see beautiful mountains, beautiful everything, and you're like, hey, I want to take a photo. Well, in the States, they are really good about making turnouts for things. Okay, not so in the Balkans. There are pretty much no turnouts to see beautiful nature, which is kind of unfortunate. So take a snapshot in your mind, or find a dirt road that branches off these highways, and just be careful. And we did that a couple times, and they are beautiful places that you drive down. But again, the tires on your car can only handle so much, and they're not the greatest roads, and you need to be respectful of other people's property. So a couple things to keep in mind for that. Also, you may run into things along the road, like sheep, or goats, or
turtles, or frogs, or chickens,
or coaches with a horse-drawn
carriages. There's all kinds of obstructions in the road. Engaged driving, again, just be on your guard, but an incredibly beautiful place here. Currently we're in Macedonia, but all of the Balkans, absolutely gorgeous region, wonderful people. Like we said, if you do get lost, people will be very happy to help you, even if you're off in the boonies and they don't speak English. You'll get it figured out together. So don't be afraid of driving in the Balkans. Just be ready for some unique challenges, but we highly recommend it.
And like I said, if you have questions, give us a shout. We're happy to walk you through what we know of the process and give you any tips and tricks that we found along the way. So give us a shout and subscribe. And if you have other recommendations to people in the Balkans, please list them in the comments below so we can all enjoy adventures together. We'll see you next time. See you on the road. Woo!
Intro music. An automatic, so we had to pony up and get a manual.
We did, but even though...
Say that backwards. Dang it.
It's okay. Even though we paid for the manual, or the... It's okay.